Hello friends, welcome to my channel CBC Tutorials. Now in this video, we'll continue with our miscellaneous exercise. So we were in our fourth question and it says that we need to show that the following four conditions are equivalent. That is, these four conditions are equivalent. That is, they are nothing but the same conditions which are written in different ways. So we need to prove that they are equivalent. So first we'll prove that first and second are equivalent. So let's take the first and second conditions, that is a subset of p and a minus p is equal to 5. Now we will prove that these two conditions are equivalent. Okay, so first we will take that a minus p is 5 and we will prove that in this condition a will be a subset of p. Now how we will prove this? Okay, so for example, we will take set a and b in such a way that a minus b will be equal to an empty set, or it will be equal to 5. So this is just rough. Now suppose we will take a to contain the element 1 and let us take set b to contain the elements 1, 2. So in this situation, when we do a minus b, what are the common elements? That is 1. And since there is a minus b and a is first, so after removing the common elements, you have tried the leftover elements of set a because a is given first. But since 1 was the only element that was present in set a, so our answer will be 5 or an empty set. Okay, so in this situation we have proved this condition. Now over here, let us assume that this 1 is x. This element 1 is x. Now according to this, we will write a statement that there is no x such that x belongs to a and x does not belong to b. So with this, what we say is that there will be no x in such a way, according to this condition where we have taken these two examples, where x will belong to a and it will not belong to b. It means that when x belongs to a, it should belong to b also. Okay, only in this situation we can say that all x that belongs to a are also x that belongs to b, because you can see we assumed that element 1 was our x, and since this element 1 belongs to a, and you can see that element 1 is present in b also, so we can say that all x that belongs to a even belongs to set b. There will be no x in such a way that it will belong to a but it will not belong to b. So this is the statement. Now whenever we get in such a way that x belongs to a and x belongs to b, we can write that a is a subset of b. Or whenever we get x belongs to b and x belongs to a, we can write that b is a subset of a. Okay, so with this we can write that a is a subset of b, which is nothing but our first condition. So we proved that the first and the second conditions are equivalent. Now if you check also that a consists of element 1 and b consists of elements 1 and 2, and when you check, a can be called a subset of b, because if you see this set b and if you check for its subsets, then what are the subsets of set b? It is 1, 2, then the set itself and 5, or an empty set. So these are subsets of b and there is one element in that which is nothing but set a. So with this we can say that a is a subset of b. So that is the final answer. So with this we can say that 1 is equivalent to 2. So we have proved our first one of the conditions. So we proved that the first and second conditions, they are equivalent. Now let's take the first and third condition and prove that the first and third conditions are equivalent. So we'll take the third condition, that is a union b is equal to b, and we will prove that in this condition a will be a subset of b. So let's take our rough. Let's take the sets a and b. Now we will take the sets a and b in such a way that a union b will be equal to set b. Okay, so let's take set a to contain one element, that is the number 1 itself, and let's take set b to contain two elements, that is 1 and 2. Now when we do a union b, what we get is, what is union? We have to add all the elements of both the sets without repeating the common ones. So we get 1, 2 as our a union b, which is nothing but our set b itself. Okay, set b was 1, 2, elements, and A union B is nothing but a set B itself. So with this we got this condition over here. Now taking this condition as an example, let us assume that this one element 1 is nothing but x. Now taking this, we will write our statements. Now we will write that let x belong to A. Okay, x is an element and that element 1, x is nothing but element 1 and it belongs to set A. Okay, we have taken in the form of x. So this is our first thing. Now with this we can say that x belongs to A union B also. If x belongs to A, then it should belong to A union B too. And over here you can check that x was nothing but 1 as we assumed. So if 1 is present in A, that is x belong to A, then 1 is also present in A union B. So that 1 also belongs to A union B, which is nothing but x belongs to A union B. So that is what we get. Then with this we can say that if x belongs to A union B, it can even belong to set B. Now if you see, x is present, x is nothing but 1, which is present in set B. So x even belongs to set B. So this is our second thing. Now from 1 and 2 we can say that A is a subset of B, because whenever we get in such a way that x belongs to A and x belongs to B, we can write A subset of B. Now if you check A and B, you can say that A is subset of B because A contains one element, that is 1 itself, and you can call A as a part of set B. Okay, so A is a subset of B. So with this we proved that the first and the third conditions are equivalent. Now in the previous two conditions we proved that first and second are equivalent, then first and third are also equivalent. Now let's prove that the first and the fourth condition, both of them are equivalent. Now let's take this one, that is A intersection B is equal to A. Now we will take this condition and we will prove that in this A intersection B, which is nothing but set A itself, in this condition A will be a subset of B. Now again let us take examples. Now let us take set A and B, and we should take set A and B in such a way that when we do the intersection of A and B, we should get our set A again, that is set A itself should be the answer. So let's take A to be 1 and B will take 1, 2. So when we do A intersection B over here, what are the common elements? Only one common element, that is number 1 itself. So when we do intersection B, we get 1, and this one is nothing but our set A itself. Okay, so this is our examples, and with this examples we have proved this condition. Now taking these examples, we will write our statements. Now let us assume that over here in this A, that 1 is nothing but x. We will take this element 1 to be x, and we will write that let x belong to A. Okay, in this condition our element 1, we assume it to be x, and we write that x belongs to A, that is element 1 belongs to A. So with this we can write over here that x even belongs to B, because that element 1 is even present in set B. So again with this, I said you previous one also that when x belongs to A and x belongs to B, we can write that A is a subset of B. And if you check here also, A is a part of B, A is a subset of B. So with this we have proved that all the four conditions are equivalent. We proved that the condition 1 was equal to 2, and then it was equal to the condition 3, and in this we even proved that 1 was equal to the condition 4. So with this we can say that all the four conditions are equivalent. Now let's see the fifth question. Now over here they say that show that if A is a subset of B, then C minus B will be a subset of C minus A. Okay, so if this is the condition given, then in this condition we have to prove that this condition will also be true. Now there are two methods to solve this. So I'll tell you the first method what it is. Now the first method, now in this we will take sets. Okay, so first we will take set A and set B for example, and we will take them in such a way that A will become a subset of B, that is A should be a subset of B. So let us take A to contain one element, that is 1 itself, and set B to contain elements 1 and 2. Now with this we can say that A is a subset of B, right, because A is a part of B. Then we need to check that C minus B is subset of C minus A. Now over here, since we have got something like C minus B and C minus A, and you know what we have to do when we get C minus B, like we need to take the common elements, we need to subtract them. So we will take set C in such a way that it will have elements, at least one element common with A and B. Okay, one element common with A and one element common with B. So let's take element 1 for C, and let's take element 2 also for C, and let's take one more element 3. Okay, so let that be a set C. We'll assume that it is a set C. Now we will check whether this condition is true or not. So let's do C minus B, that is 1, 2, 3 minus our set B. Okay, so when you do this C minus B, check the common elements. The common elements are 1 and 2, and when you subtract the common elements and write the leftover elements of set C, because C is given first. So that is our C minus B. Now let's check what is our C minus A. C minus A. Now the common element is 1, so we'll subtract 1 and write the leftover elements, that is 2 and 3. Okay, now when you check, this C minus B is a subset of C minus A, because this has one element, that is 3, and 3 is present in C minus A. So with this we can say that C minus B is a subset of C minus A, because you know this 3 element is a subset of this set, right? Because C minus B had one element, that is 3, and C minus A had two elements, that is 2, 3. So with this we can say that C minus B is a subset of C minus A. Now I'll show you the next method to solve this. Now I'll show you the second method to solve the same question. Now this time we will take X, and we will assume that X belongs to C minus B, and this is our first thing, that is our first equation. We assume that X belongs to C minus B. Now in this condition, what will happen is that X will belong to C and X will not belong to B. Now if you ask me how is this possible, because now if you think carefully, whenever we do C minus B, what we actually get is we subtract the common elements and we get the leftover elements of C, because C is given first. So after subtracting the common elements from both the set, we get the leftover elements of C for C minus B. So that leftover elements of C are X. Okay, so in such a situation we have leftover elements of C, so we can say that if X belongs to C minus B, that is the leftover elements of C, then X will definitely belong to C, because they are nothing but the leftover elements of C. And in such a situation, X will definitely not belong to set B, because you have the leftover elements of set C in C minus B and not set B. Now I'll take rough examples also over here, okay, for better understanding. Now let us assume that set C has 1, 2 and 3, these elements, and set B is having elements 1, 3, 5 and 6. Now let us assume. Now when we do C minus B, okay, when we do C minus B, check the common elements. 1, 3. 1, 3 are the common elements. We subtract those common elements. Leftover element is 2. Okay, so we write 2. So our C minus B is 2. Now according to this, let us assume that 2 is nothing but our X. So we said that X belongs to C minus B, so that is 2 belongs to C minus B. Then we said that X belongs to C, so this 2 is present in C. So we said, so X belongs to C, right? Then we said X does not belong to B. Now check if 2 is present in B. So 2 is not present in B, so X will not belong to B. So this is correct, right? Now, since A is a subset of B, okay, A is a subset of B, that is A is nothing but a part of B. So we can again say that X belongs to C and X does not belong to A. Okay, we can say that because in our previous thing we said that X does not belong to B but it belongs to C. So again we can say that X belongs to C and it does not belong to A, because A is nothing but a part of C, that is A is nothing but a subset of C. Now if you check, like B does not have 2 in it, so how will the subset of B have 2 in it, right? and A is nothing but the subset of B, so X will not belong to A also. Now with this we will do our converse, and we get that X belongs to C minus A. Okay, X belongs to C minus A, and take it as our second equation. Now if you see X belongs to C minus A, how I took it is, now when you do C minus A, what you do is you take the common elements of both C and A, right? You take the common elements of both C and A, and then you subtract those common elements from set C and write the leftover elements of set C. Now in such a situation, when you write the leftover elements of set C, your X will belong to that leftover elements. So in that situation, X will belong to C, definitely will belong to C, but it will not belong to A because you write the leftover elements of C. Now how we did in our previous one, when X belonged to C minus B, it means that X belonged to C but it does not belong to B. Similarly over here also, X belongs to C minus A, it means that S belongs to C but it does not belong to A, right? So from 1 and 2, okay, from 1 and 2, that is from X, these two equations, what we can say, that X belongs to C minus B, then X belongs to C minus A. Now when X belongs to both of them, we can say that C minus B is a subset of C minus A, right? Now in our previous questions also, I said you that whenever we write in such a way that X belongs to B and then we write X belongs to A, it means that B is a subset of A. We can write that. So here also X belongs to C minus B and X belongs to C minus A, so we can write that C minus B is a subset of C minus A. So this was the second method of proving the fifth question. Now let's see the sixth question. Now they say, assume that power of set A is equal to power of set B, and then we need to show that the set A is equal to set B. Now over here we will take two cases to prove this. In the first case we will prove that A is a subset of B. Then in the second case we will prove that B is a subset of A. And when we prove these two cases, it means that A is equal to B. Like whenever there is such a situation where A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A, then it means that A and B are equal. Like I'll show you with an example. Suppose A consists of elements 1 and 2 and then B consists of elements 1 and 2. So over here A is a subset of B, you can call A as a subset of B because A can be called as a part of B. Then you can even call B to be a subset of A. Right, so in this situation A is a subset of B and B is also a subset of A. So A is equal to B, right? So here also we will take our two conditions, prove those two conditions, and then we will get our final answer. So let's take our first case. Now for this, first we will take our set A and power of set A. Now let us take set A to be 1, 2. Now if you remember, power of any set means the set of all its subsets. Okay, so we are going to make a set of all the subsets of set A. So what will be the subsets of set A? 1, 2, then the set itself, and 5, or an empty set, and we will make a set of all these subsets. So that is nothing but our power of set A. Okay, so we have got our set A and we have got our power of set A over here. So now we will write statements in the form of X. So first we will write that X belongs to A. Now let us suppose that X belongs to A. Now over here if you see A has two elements 1 and 2. Now X belongs to A, that is small x belongs to A. Now over here X can be either 1 or 2, you can assume anything. So generally we say X belongs to A, and then let us assume it to be our first equation. Then we can say that the set of X belongs to the power set of A. Okay, because X, suppose if X is 1, then the X belongs to A, and the set of X, that is the set of 1, belongs to power of set A. And if X was 2, then X belongs to A, and the set of 2, that is the set of X, belongs to power of set A. So we can say that the set of X belongs to power of set A. But whenever we write this belongs to sign, this set sign does not look very correct to write before that. So instead of writing this, we will assume that this is equal to capital X. We will assume the set of small x to be nothing but we will denote it by capital X. Okay, so we can say that capital X belongs to power of set A. Okay. Now when capital X belongs to power of set A, now with this we can say that this capital X even belongs to power of set B. This is because since power of set A is equal to power of set B, we can say that this capital X even belongs to power of set B, because power of set A and power of set B, they are exactly the same sets, they have the same elements in that. So if X belongs to this power of set A, then it will also belong to power of set B, because both of them are same sets. Okay. Now if capital X belongs to power of set B, then we can say that the small x belongs to set B, right? Just the converse. Like in a previous one we said that X belongs to A, small x belongs to A. So the capital X, that is nothing but its set, belongs to power of set A. Then we said that the capital X belongs to power of set A. So when we do the converse of the previous one, we can say that the small x belongs to set B, right? Because the capital X belongs to set power of set B, so the small x will belong to set B. Okay. So this we will assume to be our second thing. Now from 1 and 2, the two equations we can say. Now what was equation 1? Equation 1 said that X belongs to A. Then equation 2 said that X belongs to B. That is, both the conditions said that X belongs to A and X belongs to B. Now in our previous questions also I said you, whenever it is given such a way that X belongs to A and it belongs to B, it means that we can write A is a subset of B. So we proved our first case over here that A is a subset of B. Now let's move on to our second case. Now let's take our second case where we will prove that B is a subset of A. So first we will take set B. Now first we will write the power of set B. Now since they told that power of set A is equal to power of set B, we will first make power of set B, that is nothing but the same power of set A. So you write the same thing. Okay, so this is our power of set B. Now if this is our power set, then what will be our set B? Our set B, you see 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So our set B will be contain of two elements, that is 1 and 2. So this becomes our set B. Now we have got a power set B and the set B. Now this time let us assume that small y belongs to power of set B. Okay. Now over here this small y can be either 1 or it can be 2. Now then we will say that capital Y belongs to power of set B. Now over here capital Y is nothing but the set of small y, like how we did in our previous one. Small y belongs to B. Okay, now suppose small y is 1. Now if this 1 belongs to B, then we can say that the set of 1 belongs to the power set B, right? We can say that the set of 1 belongs to the power set B. So instead of writing as the set of y, we write it as capital Y. Okay, so we write capital Y belongs to power of set B. Then we will write that the capital Y even belongs to power of set A. Since power of set A is equal to power of set B, we can write that the capital Y even belongs to power of set A. Now when this happens, we can say that the small y which we have, when this happens we can say that the small y belongs to not the power of set A but the set A. So when this happens we can say that the small y belongs to set A. Okay, so this becomes a second. This is nothing but the converse of the previous one, like how I told you in the previous case that when small y belongs to set B and the capital Y belongs to power of set B, then we have got that the capital Y belongs to power of set A, so the small y will belong to set A. So that will be our like a converse. Now from 1 and 2, that is what we have got is y belongs to B and y belongs to A. Okay, we have got y belongs to B and y belongs to A. Now when y belongs to both of them, we can say that B is a subset of A. Similarly, like how I told you in my previous case. So whenever we get that A is a subset of B, B is a subset of A, we can prove that set A is equal to set B. So we proved our both the cases, and with this we have got our final answer that A is equal to B. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you understood it, and if you liked it, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel CBC Tutorials.